Alright, so it says factor each binomial. Bi means how many? 2. 1, 2. Using the sum and difference of perfect cubes. Now, remember, all of this stuff, I'm not going to tell you on your quiz or test. So how do you know to do this specific part where you do sum and difference of cubes? Well, you count. There's 1, 2. Okay. Now, previously, you would have done something like this. Well, you're like, well, Mr. Ng, this looks like an A term. This looks like a C term. Some students would have done this. Right? If this was a quadratic. Do you guys remember that? But class, what is half of 3? 1.5. Is this 1.5? No. So you can't. No Xbox. Okay? We can't use Xbox. Hey, look up here. Higher degree polynomial. What's half of 4? 2. And you have 3 terms, A, B, and C. That means you can use Xbox. Okay? So in this problem, you can't use Xbox. You're going to have to use the sum and difference of cubes. So here's my steps. Let's take the cube root first. And when you take the cube root of each of these, you're basically trying to find 3 identical numbers. 3 identical numbers that multiply by itself 3 times to get this number. For example, what do you think the cube root of x cubed is? X. Because x times x times x gives us x cubed. What's the cube root of 27? 3. Now, let's see if we can do that with this calculator. I'm going to press math. And there I have a cube root number 4. And if I type in 27 and press enter, the answer is 3. If I use this Casio, which I've been super happy with, I see it right there. There's a square root button. That is the cube root. So I'm going to have to press in yellow, shift, square root button, because that gives me the yellow one. And then type in 27. 3 identical numbers that multiply to be 27 are 3. The numbers will get larger. So if you can't think of the numbers, you have a calculator. Okay, what does this tell me? My A value is equal to x, and my B value is equal to 3. So it says cube root, which we did, get A and B, which I have here. The A comes from what's inside parentheses, and the B value comes in the second set of parentheses. Now it tells me to write down the formula. So let's write down the formula. Now you're asking which one? Well, this one has what? Plus or minus? Plus. So I'm going to write down this top one here. A cubed plus B cubed equals A plus B, A squared minus AB plus B squared. Again, you'll notice that you have a plus sign, so this is SOAP. Same, opposite, always positive. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do now is just my substitutions. So let's do the substitutions. And I'll use B for pink. And now I'll do my substitutions. Remember, in substitutions, you are using parentheses, super important. So there's my substitution. Every A value I'm putting in X, which is in yellow, and every B value I'm putting in a 3. So we did steps number 1, get the cube root, get A and B. Number 2, write down the formula. We just did our substitution. And lastly, we're going to simplify. Let's go ahead and simplify that. We already know that x cubed, x to the third power is just x times x times x, which is to the third power. 3 to the third power is 27. Here my binomial is going to read just x plus 3. Here we have x squared, so that's just going to be x squared. X times 3 is 3x, and the opposite of that is going to be negative. And then 3 squared is going to be 9. So if I factor x cubed plus 27, my answer is x plus 3 times x squared minus 3x plus 9. So really, this one in the underline, that's your answer when you factor it. So the problem's going to look the same. Copy down that flow chart, super helpful to tell you which kind of factoring type of problem you're going to be doing.